What up? This is Rama Screen, and it's time for another celeb interview. Oh my God, that's right. And now there's this really cool new sci-fi movie that I recently watched called G-LOC from writer-director Tom Patton, and it's coming out on DVD, digital, and on demand starting August 11th. Like I said, I was lucky enough to screen it, and I loved it. And now I'm interviewing the stars of the film. Another one will join us, Stephen Moyer and Casper Van Dien. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Rama?
I enjoyed this film very much. Congratulations on it. I want to ask, let me start with you, Stephen. Your character, Bran, has this painful past that keeps haunting him, and it kind of shapes his decision-making as well. And at the same time, he's engaging in this sort of tough love relationship with Osha. So can you speak about or on what is it about Bran that resonates with you, and how did you tap into the mindset of this somewhat tragic hero?
Good question. I obviously, without giving too much away, he is attempting to help his daughter get to a place where she will be free. And he is completely selfless in the fact that he's trying to protect his daughter. And so I really engaged with that. And at the time I was shooting, my daughter was 17 and the daughter in the movie 17. And so I really sort of engaged with doing your best to try and help your kid in any way that you can. I loved the fact that it's set in a world which humanity has destroyed by its own sort of negligence and ugliness, and so I really, it's set in the future, obviously, but there were definite resonances within it that are to do with what we're going through ourselves. So I was quite excited to sort of to speak about that, and it's about immigration, and it's about our own perceptions of people that we've been told and haven't experienced. So there's a lot of things in there that were very resonant to what is going on in our world. And I thought that Tom had built a construction, a sci-fi construction that really sort of tugs at your heartstrings, but also makes you sort of have to make difficult decisions with Bran along the way. Then when he meets Casper's character, he sort of sees the mirror image of himself, and everything that he despises about this other race, if you like, that are actually exactly the same as him, sort of is reflected back at him. And I just thought it was a really clever way of talking about what's going on in our world today.
Oh, Casper, man, your character, Decker, he is one relentless son of a gun. I mean, the confrontations between Decker and Bran are among my favorite moments in the film. And whenever Decker seems to have gotten defeated, he keeps rising back up again and again. He keeps coming back up. What was it like for you, Casper, playing such a persistent character? And did you add in your own flavor, your own approach to Decker, in addition to what was written by Tom on the script?
First of all, I think I agree with everything that Stephen was saying about the script. I mean, Tom Patton is an incredible writer-director. I think he's highly intelligent and super functioning entertainment guru type guy. I mean, he knows so much about the business, directing, producing. He knows all the writing. He has this great insight, and it's so fabulous to work with that, and it gives you so much more freedom as an actor. Now, both Stephen and I have both directed before too, so we've gotten that experience, and that I think it's helped. It's helped me as an actor. I'm sure it's helped Stephen as an actor, just because you learn so much more about it. Now, having a director that is as knowledgeable as Tom was for us, and who created this whole world and this whole language and everything else, really made it easy to get into this role. And then working across from Stephen, who it's funny, we play mirror images of each other in the movie, but I feel like we're very similar. I mean, I had like a bromance. I never liked that word. I always hated that word until
I wouldn't use that word about us, but I'm glad that you've endorsed it.
But I literally always have. I've always been like, that's just stupid. And then I met it, and my wife said to me, she goes, "So this is your first bromance?" And I was like, it's because I really appreciate him, and I could see a lot of myself in him. So it's the characters too. Maybe that's just me as an actor taking a lot of that, but it didn't feel like that because there was a lot of similarities, a lot of things that I could resonate with that were truth and stories that he told me about his life and mine. And when he would say things, I was like, well, that's just wild. And so
It's kind of ridiculous how many similarities we have.
It was surreal. And so for me to play this character now, who probably would have, if we had grown up together, we probably would have just been good friends. But the fact that I have, well, I don't want to give anything away, but I have a family too. So I'm driven that way. I think when we have family and we have a purpose, that is can become a driving force for anybody. So for me, I could resonate with this character for what he was driven for, not necessarily what he was doing, because I don't personally agree with everything, but I do appreciate the value of fighting for what you believe in your family, in your life. I believe in that, but I don't believe in taking it at the expense of somebody else's necessarily. So I don't think that that's right ever. I don't think there's an exception for it. So that's where I differ from my character. But I do appreciate his drive to protect, as he sees it, the only way he sees it, his family, and I love that about it. So this character wasn't just like a one-dimensional, villain type. There was a reason. He put his pants on one leg at a time, and he did what he had to do to survive and to ensure the safety and survival of his family. So that, for me, made that character interesting and fascinating for me.
Here he is. He's going to get his headphones on. Come on, John, put your headphones on.
Hey!
Yes, it's got Rhys-Davies, everybody! Is that a baked potato in that cup?
No, I made a cup of tea as well. I decided that...
I thought you were gone a long while, long.
Well, and I had a pea as well. Now, since you suggested it, I thought that's not a bad idea, yes.
I'm all about
I thought there was a potato in that cup. I was like, that's a small potato. Or a very large cup.
A large cup, yes. That's a fairly decent sized cup, I think, yes, as they go. Yeah.
Very thin potato.
Yeah, yes.
Well, John, let me segue to you then, John. Your characters, we're talking about characters here. Your character, Henry, he prefers to see the good in people. He likes giving you the benefit of the doubt. He's that kind of person. But one can argue that that's kind of naive, then it can backfire because some people you should never trust. So is it fair to say that Henry's strength is also his weakness? What's your take on your character, Henry?
Yes, you're spot on. I mean, how do we combine a liberal and open nature with one that actually is wise enough to be skeptical, and the hardest thing is to see things as they really are, to see ourselves really as we really are. But on the whole, I think we'd sooner go down in history as people who were open-hearted and kind and generous than the opposite, which is one of the reasons why I don't think actors make terribly good presidents or whatever. Actually, that's not true. Ronnie wasn't a bad president, really, and he was not a bad actor. But our instinct and our training and our conditioning is to be liberal, and I don't mean it in the American sense where it means communist. In the English sense, it means open-hearted, generous, approachable, forgiving, willing to allow others to flower around you.
I think that's the liberal meaning for in America as well. I just think that some other people seem to say it's not.
Communist man, how dare you say that?
what I love the most about what Tom has crafted here, it has that independent filmmaking sense to it. You know, it doesn't have blockbuster budget or flashy spectacles. And the result of that is this very grounded, very character-driven story, which I enjoyed. Each of you have done sci-fi before. Of course, The Gifted, Starship Troopers, Sliders, to name a few examples. What do you think is different with what Tom did here compared to what you've done in the past, sci-fi wise?
I don't know if it's necessarily about comparison, as you know, we're all quite big fans of Tom, and I think that Tom wrote and directed a movie for like $20,000, and then he did it. Then the next one he got like 50, and then he got 75, and then he got 150, and he uses his resources really well. And what he's done with this, and what we were all attracted to, was a really tight, interesting script that's about something. It's not just a balls to the wall, fight, battles, and then the victor wins. It's actually about, that sense of that John was talking about in some respects, that sort of liberal idea of I don't mean it in a nancy-pansy way, of coming to understand the person that you're opposite and actually appreciating them and realizing that there's more similarities than there are differences. And it's about family, it's about immigration, it's about doing the next right thing. And yes, we didn't have a shed ton of money to throw at big effects, but like you said, really, it's not about that. It's about people, and it's about love, and it's about growth, personal growth, and I think that I think you handled it really, really well.
Wow, what an engaging discussion. Thank you so much, you guys. I love it. Very thought-provoking. I love this. But my time is running out. Thank you so much for talking with me. And everybody, please go check out G-LOC on DVD, on demand, and digital August 11th. Thank you, Stephen, Casper, and John.